Welcome back to Movie Honey. As you all know, Season 4 of The Boys series is set to return this year. Today, let's explore Kimiko, the assassin beauty of The Boys. First, let's look at Kimiko in the series, portrayed by actress Karen Fukuhara. Over 3 seasons of The Boys, we've learned that Kimiko and her brother Kenji once lived in a fishing village in Japan. Kimiko is mute, and she communicates with her brother using a sign language only the two of them understand. When they were young, they were kidnapped by a terrorist organization called the Shining Light Liberation Army and trained to become soldiers for them. Later, the siblings were taken to fight in the Philippines before becoming test subjects for the Shining Light Liberation Army's compound V-trafficking operation in the US, while Kenji gradually embraced the ideologies of the Shining Light Liberation Army. Kimiko was held captive in a room beneath New York City, where she spent her days watching TV. In the first season of The Boys, Frenchie from The Boys discovered Kimiko while investigating the compound V-trafficking operation led by the superhero Atrain. After being freed by Frenchie, Kimiko killed all her captors and escaped. After that, she encountered the woman who had sold her into the compound V-trafficking operation and killed her to exact revenge. At the subway station, Kimiko was found by Frenchie, who tried to persuade her to let him help. However, Kimiko ran away from Frenchie and encountered Atrain. Atrain used his superpowers to attack Kimiko, but was intercepted by Frenchie. Kimiko was then knocked out by Billy Butcher using anesthetic gas and taken to the Boys' secret base. At the secret base of the Boys, Frenchie tried to communicate and connect with Kimiko but received no cooperation from her. Meanwhile, Atrain discovered the actions against the superheroes by the Boys, leading to the Boys being hunted. At the same time, Black Noir, a member of America's premier superhero group The Seven, also began searching for the Boys' members. Upon learning this, Frenchie set Kimiko free, but she did not leave. Instead, she followed Frenchie and saved him when Black Noir cornered him. Although Kimiko fiercely attacked Black Noir, she was not a match for the superhero and was severely injured. However, what Black Noir did not realize was that Kimiko has an incredible healing ability. After he left, Kimiko recovered from her injuries and returned to the Boys' base with Frenchie. To uncover her past, Frenchie and Mother's Milk took her to meet the superhero Mesmer, who has the ability to read minds. Despite having his arm broken, Mesmer was still able to reveal some details about her past and her real name to the Boys. After Frenchie suggested that Kimiko rescue her brother, she agreed to stay as a member of the Boys. At the end of Season 1, she and Huey went home and confronted Atrain. She used a crowbar to break Atrain's leg as revenge for what he had done to her previously. After being captured by soldiers from the superhero management corporation Thought American, Kimiko and the Boys were rescued by Huey's girlfriend, Starlight. Kimiko also shared the fate of the other members of the Boys, being wanted across the United States. In Season 2 of the Boys series, Kimiko and the remaining members of the Boys were forced to live in a base of a criminal gang. At the beginning of Season 2, the Boys were tasked with capturing a superpowered terrorist in exchange for being exonerated and avoiding being hunted. However, this man turned out to be Kenji, Kimiko's long-lost brother. During their conversation, Kimiko realized that Kenji had been indoctrinated by the Shining Light Liberation Army to become a super terrorist against the United States. After Kenji tried to escape, Kimiko captured him and waited for the Boys to take him away. With Kenji in hand, the Boys had a chance to escape their warrants. Although Kenji wanted Kimiko to set him free, she had no other choice. However, what neither sibling anticipated was that the superhero group The Seven was also pursuing Kenji. In this confrontation, Kimiko witnessed the female superhero Stormfront snap Kenji's neck right in front of her. After witnessing her brother's death, Kimiko went to Frenchie's ex-girlfriend Sherry and was hired by Sherry to take out some members of a criminal gang. When Frenchie discovered this, he was furious and tried to stop Kimiko, but couldn't. The two reconciled and joined Mother's Milk in breaking into a psychiatric facility. which was actually a prison for superpowered patients held by Vought. Here, Frenchie encountered the superhero Lamplighter, who had caused the boys to disband years ago. During this time, Kimiko taught Frenchie the sign language that only she and her brother Kenji knew. In the finale of Season 2, Kimiko finally had the opportunity for revenge against Stormfront during the mission to rescue Becca, Billy Butcher's ex-wife, and her son Ryan, although Stormfront knocked her unconscious. Kimiko received help from two other female superheroes from the Seven, Queen Maeve and Starlight, forcing Stormfront to flee. After battling Stormfront with the boys and exposing her past, Kimiko and the group were cleared of all charges and became agents for Senator Victoria Newman's Bureau of Superhuman Affairs, tasked with apprehending law-breaking superheroes in Season 3. In Season 3 of The Boys, Queen Maeve informed Billy Butcher about BCL Red, a weapon so powerful it took the life of Soldier Boy, America's former #1 superhero before Homelander. To investigate BCL Red, Frenchie and Kimiko visited Crimson Countess, Soldier Boy's ex-lover. At the amusement park where Crimson Countess worked, they attempted to extract information about Soldier Boy's death but failed. Crimson Countess escaped thereafter. During a trip to Russia to investigate BCL Red, Billy Butcher assigned Kimiko a task. To procure BCL Red, Billy Butcher had to make a deal with Frenchie's former boss, mafia boss Little Nina. However, the price for this deal was the life of a tycoon who had previously double-crossed Nina. Thus, Kimiko had to disguise herself as a prostitute to infiltrate the tycoon's mansion. Although she completed the mission, Kimiko was shot in the head by one of the prostitutes at the tycoon's mansion. Upon her return, she realized that both Billy Butcher and Little Nina had been exploiting her and Frenchie. Frenchie and Kimiko planned to leave the boys after this mission, but while investigating BCL Red, the group discovered that this weapon did not actually exist. Instead, they learned that Soldier Boy had been held and experimented on by the Russian government for years. Before escaping the laboratory, Soldier Boy nearly fired his energy beam at Frenchie. Kimiko absorbed the full blast of Soldier Boy's energy, which resulted in the loss of her superpowers. Upon returning to the US and being hospitalized, Kimiko was relieved to find she had lost her powers, allowing her to live a normal life. However, Frenchie re-encountered Little Nina, who forced him to work for her to compensate for the troubles caused by the boys in Russia. Nina's first task for Frenchie was to eliminate a man and his son. When Frenchie refused, Nina had him kidnapped and stripped before forcing him to choose between saving Sherry or Kimiko. However, Sherry and Kimiko managed to escape Nina's control and quickly eliminated her henchmen afterward. In the final stages of Season 3, Kimiko desired to regain her superpowers after almost losing her life at the hands of Little Nina. She was given a dose of Compound V from Vought by Starlight, and once again obtained superpowers. Kimiko and Frenchie broke into Vought's laboratory to synthesize the Novichok agent intended to neutralize Soldier Boy. She also helped subdue Soldier Boy, because that mother's milk could attempt to make him unconscious, though they were unsuccessful. Ultimately, Queen Maeve sacrificed herself to defeat Soldier Boy and to prevent him from harming others. This concludes Kimiko's story through the first 3 seasons of The Boys. In the remainder of this video, let's explore her character in the comics. Unlike her film version, Kimiko in the comics is known by the nickname the female of the species. According to issue number 38 of the Boys comic series, released in 2010, the female has a mother who works for a corporation depicted as the Japanese version of the superhero management company Vought. Due to low wages, the female's mother had to bring her to work and placed her in a crib. On one occasion when her mother was not looking, the little girl crawled into the corporation's laboratory and fell into a bucket containing chemicals. When the scientists discovered the little girl, a horrifying scene unfolded before them. The female was chewing on the face of another scientist. This act resulted in her being imprisoned from a young age because the corporation believed they could use her blood to develop a drug equivalent to Compound V. She escaped repeatedly, and during her final escape, she unwittingly came under the radar of the anti-superhero squad, the Boys. The leader of the Boys, Billy Butcher, then used a stun grenade to knock the female unconscious. On the way back to the US, Frenchie felt pity for the poor girl who had experienced misfortune from a young age. He took on the task of educating and treating the female well to help her become a member of the Boys in their fight against corrupt superheroes across America. However, during the periods when the Boys were inactive, the female often took assassination jobs for various criminal gangs. According to Frenchie, she took these jobs not for money, but because of her innate violent instincts. She has a habit of skinning the faces of her victims, a trait that may stem from the incident where she skinned the face of the unfortunate scientist when she was a child. However, like other members of the Boys, except for Huey, the female did not have a happy ending in the comic series The Boys. After wiping out Homelander and the superheroes of the Vought Corporation, Billy Butcher schemed to eliminate everyone with superpowers in the world, including the members of the Boys. In the Boys comic issue number 69 released in 2012, when Frenchie and Kimiko were alone, Frenchie discovered a timed bomb that Billy Butcher had planted at the Boys' headquarters. He turned to Kimiko, confessing he had loved her from the first moment they met, just as the bomb exploded, destroying the Boys' headquarters and killing both Frenchie and Kimiko. Another difference between the female in the comics and in the series is her ability to communicate. The female is not completely mute, she can speak. In issue number 67 of The Boys, she once said she despises cowards, perhaps her most complete sentence in the entire series. In episode 5 of season 3 of The Boys series, it seemed Kimiko could speak after Soldier Boy took her powers away. However, we later learned that this was only in her thoughts. This is all you need to know about Kimiko, the assassin flower of the Boys. If you want to learn about the other members of the Boys, don't forget to subscribe to the Movie Honey channel to support me, and like, share this video and comment below. For now, goodbye and see you next time. Movie Honey out!